Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so since I always miss this, I'm going to be dropping this the day it drops. We have the Limit Breaker quest that is going to be dropping the 8th, and we'll just be going through who you can bring as the best characters for it. Now, do know that these Limit Breakers is always going to have one of the newer characters be one of the main focuses, so keep that in mind. So if you want to get like the highest score, you're going to want to summon on the upcoming end of month banner, but all you realistically have to get to, I believe, is wave 19, I believe, is when all the rewards are given out, so you don't have to go that hard. But yeah, let's just hop right in and let's see the affiliation and killers and whatnot. Alright, so you're going to, for the slot number 1, you're going to want a Quincy killer, a tech character, you most likely, tech damage times 2, melee damage times 2, and killer effect times 5. I already noticed who this is. This is obviously for the new end of month Ichibe that will be dropping in like 2 days time, so if you end up pulling him, literally the go-to option. No other character is going to be better than him for this slot, but there are some options that I saw that you can change and make it a bit easier. Or not easier, but like that should be able to clear it sufficiently. And then for slot number 2, we have the no affiliation character. We're going to need that as the killer. We're going to need a mind character. The mind damage times 2, range damage times 2, and the killer effect is times 5. And also there is freeze on the ground, so as you can kind of see, you kind of already know who it's going to be for. But also on the last map there is paralysis, but for each bait it doesn't matter. And then for the other characters as well, it won't matter. But for damage from attribute advantages enemies have, so you're going to want to bring a mind character no matter what. Otherwise, you're going to have like really mediocre damage on this. Maybe if you bring like Quilgi or Unohana because of Rampage or something, or maybe even Rukia. But we'll have to find out. I guess with range damage, I'm not too sure because Rukia's SA2 will do like no damage since it's a melee ability, which kind of sucks. And then for slot number 3, you're going to need a Sword Reaper killer, most likely a speed character, and then somehow be immune to burn. So yeah, let's just hop right in and then let's try to find 3 characters that you could probably bring in case you don't have the best options. Alright, and now these are the Quincy melee technique characters, and there's literally 2 of them besides the upcoming Ichibe. So I don't think either of these characters will probably be good enough, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the technique slot and see what opens up. And as you can see, there's already 2 much better options in my opinion, the Yamamoto and then the Lisa. I already have her max incented, so you know you can try her out if you have dupes of her because she is a premium character. And then Yamamoto, even at 1 out of 5, should probably do way more damage than either of these characters at 5 out of 5, to be honest. He is also immune to all the status elements, so the paralysis won't affect him. He is just not getting the technique damage times 2, but his stats will not be halved since there's no rule for it. Now, if you put him in slot number 2 and you're not bringing a mind character, then their stats would get cut in half. But since the rule is only paralysis, that's all you have to worry about. And I think Yamamoto would be one of the best options to use there. If you don't have that, then not really sure what else you could bring unless you want to take out the melee times 2 damage. Then you open up your options a little bit more. You could use Baogo. I think the Toaster is actually pretty good. The Toaster is pretty good. I don't have him, so I can't really show him or anything. You could also try Lisa. That's really about it, to be honest. Also, if you guys do end up clearing it, comment down below your team. Kind of curious if you get to wave 19. You know, maybe some of these characters are actually really good, and I'm just completely overlooking them, you know? Akon would be good, I guess, but he's only like a buffer, so eh. Alright, and now actually you could just go melee and a technique character. So there is like the Safuri Gin, the Safui Toshiro, there's the Grimjow, Artwork Ichigo, Retsu, Unohana. You could potentially try these characters out. Not too sure how it'll go since you get 5 times less damage. So you might just struggle on one of these, so hopefully you have some powerhouses in the other slots, but you could bring something like this, you know, that way you just get a bit of the buff and nothing too crazy, but if it's clearable, you know. Alright, now we have the no affiliation mind range slot, which not too many options. I believe these 2 are very outdated. The Noelle is still pretty decent, and then especially, I believe is she a nuker? I already can't remember. No, she is not. Okay, she's worse than I thought she was, I'm not gonna lie. I thought she had weakening. I'm thinking of the Christmas Noel. But Asnot is actually really good. He's going to have a shield so you can stay alive and stay at full stamina. His strong attacks are pretty good too. And he has 14% recharge, so that's pretty good. He has freeze resistance as well, so that's another W. And he has slow as well, so for those bigger mobs, it might actually be pretty nice. And yeah, I mean, you just kind of probably have to go for RNG, and hopefully you proc your status element pressure or your spiritual pressure boost more often than not. But he is a pretty good character. Now, if we take off the ranged damage, maybe we can try to find a bit more options. You could bring white, and honestly, that's probably about it. Unless you try the Yamamoto, but honestly, I wouldn't even try it. I hate using nag characters, but you could try it if you actually do like it. You could take off the mind, but for this specific one, you do get your stats completely halved. So do keep that in mind. So if you take off mind, and let's say you go ranged, no affiliation, what can you get? You could go with 8th Anniversary Ichigo, you could go with Macy. If you have them fully duped out, you could probably easily nuke this through. Christmas Noel, as I said, is actually pretty good. So she's another option if you have her maxed out. Nothing like insane, obviously, for this, since you're getting half stats. But if it's the best you can do, you know, try your best. Misaki, maybe she's a pretty good booster, but since you're not boosting in your sides, probably not. Maybe Kaname. He's not a bad character or anything. You just kind of got... He does have freeze resistance, so, you know, you could potentially just bring him. Yeah, he might be a pretty solid option. Alright, now the final slot is mainly asking for a Soul Reaper killer with a speed character. Now, obviously, you don't need to. It's nothing crazy. You don't need a speed character. I highly recommend bringing a Soul Reaper killer, though, at the very least. But let's just go through the speed characters first. And they're actually pretty solid. As you can see, you have Unohana. You could bring Mila Rose. You could bring Gin. You could bring Tensa Zangetsu. Those are probably the best 4, to be honest. You could also probably bring Byakuya if you haven't fully duped out. Retsu as well. I think she could do fairly well. Nothing like crazy, obviously. They're kind of outdated, but they're still good. They can still do their job, especially if you have more dupes into them. But yeah, these 4 would probably be the best. In my opinion, I would probably go Yachiru, then Tensa, then Gin, and then Mila Rose. So now what happens if you take off the speed? Who are these Soul Reaper killers? You could bring Noelle. She's pretty good. You could bring White if you didn't bring him in the second slot. Toshiro as well if you didn't already use him. 7th Anniversary Ichigo. Or you might be pretty decent. Spirit Survivor with you, Powered Kenny. He's really good. You could also try Bruno. 6th Anniversary Aizen's another excellent option. You could also bring Artwork Ichigo. And that's probably about it in terms of like who would actually be able to clear it fairly well. But there are actually quite a few options here which I actually like. Now obviously you don't need Killer, but I would highly recommend at least bringing a character with Killer. And it could just be anyone you have max transcended. Like if you don't have any of those characters, or they're all 1 out of 5, and you have a max transcended, let's say, oh, I don't know who's a good character that we didn't talk about, like a max transcended Bruno. I think he would be a really good option in this 3rd slot. He's really fast, he does a lot of damage, and in Limit Breaker, he's perfect. You could use like a Gin, Quincy Ichigo, you know, if you have them duped out, I think they're more than enough, and I think they should do fine. And honestly, Quincy Ichigo, if you bring Ichibei, would probably be the best 3rd slot, simply because of his technique, attribute, strong attack, recharge, minus 20%. So if I end up pulling Ichibei, I'll end up trying that out, but I'm not like gonna go all 25 sets for Ichibei. Like, he's cool, but you know, having to spend $900 just to get orbs, not worth. But yeah, anyways, comment down below what team you guys are going to be bringing. So let me just go to the team that I will most likely be bringing. If I don't pull Ichibei, this will probably be the team that I'm going to be bringing. If I do pull Ichibei, I will probably use Ichibei and then the Quincy Ichigo in the 3rd slot. But Yamamoto, really good character. He has Quincy Killer. No technique damage times 2, but he does have melee damage. He has killer effect, and he's immune to paralysis, or all status ailments, but mainly paralysis because of the floor. And then obviously the Asnot is going to be the best character there because he has no affiliation killer. He's a mind character, so he doesn't get his stats cut in half. He has mind damage times 2, he has rain damage times 2, and he has the killer effect times 5. So that is like the biggest bonus right there. Is mainly the killer effect in that slot 2 for no affiliation. So either Asnot or White will probably be your best pick there. And then for Unohana, she's a Soul Reaper speed character, so she does the max amount of damage as possible, and she's also max transcended. She's really fast, she has rampage, she's just like literally built for Limit Breaker, but she's also built for literally everything in the entire game, to be honest. And she's absolutely insane. Now, if you do end up bringing Unohana, oh my god, I forgot to change this. Oops. If you do bring Unohana, you could technically use Macy on the, is it the no affiliation week that I brought up earlier? Yeah, so on the slot number 2, if you do not have Asna, you don't have White, you could potentially bring Macy, potentially, because she does have range damage. She has no affiliation killer. She will get her attributes, her stats cut in half, but she does have the speed attribute, strong attack recharge minus 20%. So you could potentially bring her just to help out your Unohana a bit more. Don't look at these. I was using them in PvP. It was awful, by the way. So she could be a pretty decent option. She has weakening and paralysis on all her skills. So, you know, she's pretty fun to use in the breaker, I can't lie. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Comment down below your team if you do end up clearing it, or what you think you're going to be bringing. Hope you guys have an absolutely amazing day. And do remember, it is going to be here on the 8th. Let me just bring up the date just again, just in case I forgot. But it should be here on the 8th, all the way through the... it doesn't say when it leaves, I guess, but it will be here at December 8th, probably till the end of the month. So make sure you get this done as fast as possible, get the Transcendence points, and hopefully you guys do really, really well. Take care, and peace out.